Hello, my name is Leon. Welcome to the reading of the Elder Scrolls. Today we're going to be reading How Orsinium Passed to the Orcs by Menya Gust. Sure. The year was Third Era 399, and standing on a mountainside overlooking a vast tract of land between the lands of Menindia and Wayrest was a great and learned judge, an arbiter and magistrate, impartial in his submission to the law. "You have a very strong claim to the land, my lad," said the judge, "but I won't lie to you about that, but your competition has an equal claim. This is what makes my particular profession difficult at times." "You call it my competition?" sneered Lord Bodrin, gesturing to the orc. The creature, called Gotwog Gro-Nagrum, looked up with baleful eyes. "Ah, it's Gotwog, yeah. That's the story of how it became. Alright. Makes sense. "He has ample documentation to make a claim on the land," the magistrate shrugged. "And the particular laws of our land do not discriminate between particular races. We had a Bossimo Regency once, many generations ago." "But what if a pig or slaughterfish turned up, demanding the property? Would they have the same legal rights as I?" "If they had the proper papers, I'm afraid so," smiled the judge. "The law is very clear that if two claimants with equal titles to the property are set in deadlock, a duel must be held. Now, the rules are fairly archaic, but I've had the opportunity to look them over, and I think they are still valid. The Imperial Council agrees." "What must we do?" asked the orc, his voice low and harsh, unused to the tongue of the Cyrodiils. "The first claimant, that's you, Lord Godwog, may choose the armor and weapons of the duelist. The second claimant, that's you, Lord Bowen, may choose the location. If you would prefer, either of you may... If you would prefer, either or both either or both of you may choose a champion, or you may duel yourself." Yeah, I think the orc would just fight, because the shoulder buttons are chode. The Brent and the orc looked at one another, evaluating. Finally, Gotwog spoke. "The armor will be orcish, and the weapons will be common steel long swords. No enchantments, no wizardry allowed." "The arena will be in the central courtyard of my cousin, Lord Brenneris' palace in Wayrest," said Bowen, looking Gotwood in the eye scornfully. "None of your kind will be allowed in to witness." So it was agreed. Gotwog declared that he would fight the duel himself, and Bowen, who was a fairly young man and in better than average condition, felt that he could not keep his honor without competing himself as well. Still, upon arriving at his cousin's palace a week before the duel was scheduled, he felt the need to practice. A suit of orcish armor was purchased, and for the first time in his life, Bowen wore something of tremendous weight and limited facility. Bowen and Rannis sparred in the courtyard. In 10 minutes' time, Bowen had to stop. He was red-faced and out of breath from trying to move in the armor. To add to his exasperation, he had not scored one blow on his cousin, and had dozens of feinted strikes scored on him. "I don't know what to do," said Bowen over dinner. "Even if I knew someone who could fight properly in that beastly steel, I couldn't possibly send in a champion to battle Gotwog." Bramwith commiserated as the servants cleared the plates. Morrowind stood up in his seat and pointed at one of them. You didn't tell me you had an orc in your household. So? Whined the elderly specimen, turning to Lord Brethwaite, certain that he caused offence somehow. You mean old Turner? Laughed Brennerath. He's been with my house for ages. Would you like him to give you training on how to move an orcish armor? Would you like me to? Asked Turner obstinately. Unknown Brennerath, but known to him now. His servant had once ridden with the legendary cursed Legion of High Rock. He not only knew how to fight in orcish armor himself, but he had acted as trainer to other orcs before retiring into domestic service. Desperate, Bowen immediately engaged him as his full-time trainer. You try? You try too hard, sir, said the orc on their first day in the arena. It is easy to strain yourself in heavy mail. The joints are just so to let you bend with only a little effort. If you fight against the joints, you won't have any strength to fight your foe. Bowen tried to follow Turner's instructions, as he quickly grew frustrated. And the more frustrated he got, the more intensity he put into his work, which tired him out even quicker. While he took a break to drink some water, Brennerath spoke to his servant. If they were optimistic about Borwin's chances, their faces did not show it. Turner trained Borwin hard the next 2 days, but her ladyship and Ursula's birthday followed hard upon them, and Borwin enjoyed the feast thoroughly. Idiot. A liquor of poppies and goose fat and cocktainish with buttered crossup for a first course, roasted pike, comwort, and balls of rabbit meat for a second, sliced fox tongues, ballam pudding with oyster gravy, butterglar of weed, and beans for the main course. God, it's still going. Collared quince ice and sugar fritters for dessert. As Bowen was settling back afterwards, his eyes weary, he suddenly spied Gottwald and the judge entering the room. What are you doing here? He cried. The duel's not for another 2 days. Oh, shit! Lord Gottwald asked that we move it to tonight, said the judge. You were training when my emissary arrived 2 days ago, but his lordship, your cousin, spoke for you, agreeing to the change of date. But there's no time to assemble my supporters, complained Morrowind. And I just devoured a feast that would kill a lesser man. Cousin, how could you neglect to tell me? I spoke to Turner about it, said Brennerath, blushing and used to deception. We decided that you would be best served under these conditions. What? The battle-only reason was sparsely attended. Saturated with food, Borwin found himself unable to move very quickly. To his surprise, the armor responded to his lethargy, rotating smoothly and elegantly to each stagger. The more he successfully maneuvered, the more he allowed his mind and not his body to control his defensive and offensive actions. For the first time in his life, Borwin saw that it was what it was to look through the helmet of an orc. Of course he lost, and rather badly if scores are to be tabulated. Gorwig was a master of such battle, but Borwin fought on for more than 3 hours before the judge reluctantly called a winner. I will name the land Orsinium, after the land of my fathers, said the victor. Borwin's first thought was that if he must lose to an orc, it was best that the battle was largely unwatched by his friends and family. As he left the courtyard to go to the bed, he longed for Earlier that evening, he saw Gotward speaking to Turner. Though he did not understand the language, he could see that they knew each other. When the Breton was in bed, he had a servant bring the old orc to him. "Turner," he said kindly, "speak frankly to me. You wanted Lord Gotward to win." "That is true," said Turner. "But I did not fail you. You fought better than you would have fought 2 days hence, sir. I did not want Orsinium to be won by its king without a fight." Ooh. Shots fired. Alright. So that was how Orsinium passed to the Orcs by Melania Ghost. There's been another reading of the Elder Scrolls, but for now, my name is Leo, and I will see you next time.